Hello friends, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on wherever you are. Now, we're going to focus in this special session of Zoom In on the resurgence of violence in parts of Pakistan. As the year draws to a close, parts of northwestern territories remain in the group of terrorist violence. One of the high points of this wave was the brazen seizure of a counter-terrorism department building in the Bannu cantonment that houses a detention center with a dozen TTP prisoners. They reportedly overpowered the guards on December 18, seized their weapons, and eventually took 9 officials hostage. 2 of the officials reportedly also got killed during the initial crossfire that ensued after the TTP prisoners took over the charge of the prison. Now, special forces eventually ended the latest episode of siege and hostage taking with a dramatic rescue and termination operation on December the 20th. The incident was reminiscent of the raid and eventual occupation for over 24 hours of a wing of the heart of Pakistan's military establishment, the General Headquarters, on October the 10th in 2009. Then, some 10 gunmen in military uniforms had barged into this particular wing of the General Headquarters, killed 9 soldiers, and took several others hostage, at least about 30 hostages. The army eventually launched the Operation Jabaz to end the siege and rescued all hostages. Also on December 18, terrorists had raided a police station in Lucky Marwat area near Bannu, killing at least 4 police officials. On December the 19th, a suicide bomber targeted military interests in North Waziristan, very near the Bannu district. The first week of December, in fact, had seen similar at least 4 terrorist strikes in the region. And also on the 19th of December, there was a raid on another police station in southern Waziristan in which the TTP reportedly sent its fighters. They raided the police station, overpowered the policemen, took away their weapons, and also left a message behind that all policemen in North and South Waziristan should give up their official jobs. Now, as a whole, the police in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province that borders Afghanistan has lost at least 115 personnel in 160 attacks this year so far. And coincidentally, most of the attacks have been taking place in South-North Waziristan, that is adjacent to a sort of axis of terrorism, we can say, because this is a long line in Pakistan's settled areas which borders North and South Waziristan as well as the Bajor area. These are all parts of the former federally administered tribal areas, and the assumption is that such terrorism is basically traveling and being guided from inside Afghanistan. The pattern of all these attacks centered on the key greater Bannu region clearly points to the axis that runs along the border to Afghanistan. That is, this violence emanates from across the border or being pushed by people sitting pretty on the Afghan soil, insist Pakistani officials. And logically, this makes sense. Only a day before the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan attack on the counter-terrorism department and the Bargi police station in Lucky Marwat near the Bannu region, the TTP chief Nurwali Masood had told CNN television in an interview his group was not using the Afghan soil for attacks inside Pakistan. A strange argument indeed. All that the TTP is doing to pursue its interests is happening on the Pakistani soil itself, Nurwali Masood had argued. And Noor Masood followed this up with a call on early December the 20th on his Mujahideen who were holding the counterterrorism department building not to surrender. Don't trust the army either as you continue your sacred mission, Masood urged his fighters. Now, coincidentally, as the violence was rampaging through the Bannu region, the American CENTCOM chief, General Michael Kurilla, visited Pakistan around the same time frame, that is 16th-17th of December, 2 weeks after the State Department had designated 4 Al-Qaeda subcontinent TTP terrorists as global terrorists. Now, one logical question bothering many minds in Pakistan is, who else beside Noor Wali Masood would count as the mastermind, facilitator and perpetrator of the latest wave of terrorist strikes? Is it Hafiz Gul Bahadur and Maulvi Sadiq Noor, who once lauded huge territories in northern Waziristan and are now presumably living in safe havens somewhere in eastern Afghanistan? Are they guiding this wave of terror in league with various franchises of terrorism, that is TTP, Ahrar Hind, Daesh, ISKP and whatnot, all terror franchises operating in different names? Now the question is, what are the possible motives of such attacks in Pakistan? It's a matter of discussion. It is hotly contested and debated in Pakistan right now. The TTP wants to slice off part of the border region for its own dreamed caliphate, Islamic caliphate. It also wants the Pakistan army to leave that area and let it enforce Islamic Sharia. These are demands that basically constitute the red lines for the state of Pakistan. Now, does this mean the TTP mission is to continue sowing terror and causing instability in the country? If so, then why? What is the primary motive of this group? It's a ragtag army comprising a few thousand people. So what does it really want to achieve through this campaign of terror? Does it really hope to achieve its stated goals, or is the hidden agenda a destabilization campaign that keeps Pakistan on tenterhooks, runs it down economically and discourages any investment whatsoever? Or is it really proxy terrorism in its worst form to stall the China-Pakistan economic corridor? A big question for everyone.